if you can guess, we're getting ready to do a dual live stream with Demetrius. So, yeah, one of those, night. And it also April Fool's. So, welcome to episode 167. So, yeah, going to be a wild one. Also, and I'm going to bring it up, my gimbal charging looked like it had battery issues, meaning that's not a good sign. But Dimitri will be getting ready in 4 minutes. I'm technically already on my end, so yep. If y'all can guess what I mean. But Dimitri getting ready with his, which ironic, but it technically is a crazy April Fool, and yes, I take out of work. If y'all can guess, I'm back in my workplace again. If y'all can guess, but but it's a crazy time in the railroading community, that for sure. But yeah, all right, yeah, I got my. I'm making sure I did not forget my work uniform because I've been having a bad habit of forgetting stuff lately. Go figure, if y'all know what I mean. But yeah. Also, I'm having charging problem with my gimbal. So I think about time for me to get a replacement or probably do the maintenance. Probably the maintenance, but we got them real crazy stuff that's been going on with the railroad community, and I mean some really, and I mean really crazy stuff. Like, and I mean like talk about them bonker stuff. If y'all get what I'm saying. Like, when I say bunkers, I really do mean it. So, yeah. But Dimitri will be starting his live stream in, alright, 3 minutes. So I'm technically ahead of him. And boy, when I say what I'm about to say, some of the stuff that's been going on, real bunkers. And when I'm saying real bunkers, I really do mean it. But yeah. I just gotta let him know I'm ready. Send him a screenshot. But yeah. To let him know. But with some of the stuff that is going on in the railroading community right now, it's a crazy. Of course, someone playing with a freaking chicken saying, I heard that. Talk about for April Fool's Day. But yeah. But what I'm seeing is that super crazy with some of the rail stuff that been going on. Like, and I mean with infrastructure, all of it. Like, to be honest, it's been bunkers, if y'all get what I'm saying. Speaking of that, let me call him right now to let him know. Now, I am keeping an eye on my system to make sure that don't go wrong. But yeah. Alright. But, alright. To get the notification. Yep. Alright, let me go back in. But let me just say, some of the stuff that been going on just been bunkers. Look like someone doing April Fools again. Yeah, don't. Everybody right now waiting on Demetria. But let me just say that for April Fool's Day, it's kind of like a sitcom for today. Like, no kidding. Like, sitcom and all that. Like, let me be honest. Tornado outbreak today. Freaking volcano erupted in Ringavik, Iceland this morning. Only lasted 4 hours. Nearly took out the town. But, yeah. Alright, make it so. Alright, everybody say can't hear him. Not surprised. Yep. But let me get to what I'm saying.
Okay, it looks like I'm the April Fool here, because this thing never works. Never.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Okay. Why do we have to do this twice? This is ridiculous. Okay. Alrighty. Here we go again. Let's go. Let's get this going. Let me see. And action.
Demetria getting ready on his side. But yeah. Well, let me know. Can hear. We can hear you. Alright, that let Demetria know, but like, let me be on it. Like with some of the crazy stuff that been going on.
But did he even say, please welcome everyone to... Okay, this is the American Rail Club live stream. I'm sorry, I forgot this. I didn't know this was the United Airlines lounge over here. Okay, I thought I got kidnapped today, but guess not. Welcome aboard, everybody, and welcome aboard to the April Fool's edition of the American Rail Club. This is not the Hyperloop Club. This is the American Rail Club. Okay, there we are. We're all live. We're live. We are indeed live. I hope everybody enjoyed that one. This is brought to you today by United Airlines. Exclamation mark, it's not by United Airlines. But behind me, you can see my assortment and arrays of
Demetria
stuff over here. Actually, let me see if I can put up the webcam over here, and then we'll get this started. We can just talk about whatever today, but bring in the let's see, here we go. Where's the the webcam doesn't work. Oh wow.
Oh,
okay.
Talk about
I guess I'm the April
fail.
Fool today, but hey, apparently I've been told that the baseball bats are a little too much, so there we go. That's been resolved. So my assortment of ways to make America's railroads great again devices are there. So that will be happening at some point. We need a dark make America's railroads great again. That's got to be something. Okay,
right.
Everybody, welcome aboard. It is your conductor on this wild and wacky ride, Demetriusville. I hope you all are doing well on this April Fool's, and I hope you guys didn't get too fooled today. I mean, the way the economy is going, the worst thing you can get is like a pink slip, and then it's just like, you'll die of a heart attack before then. Alrighty, but I mean, let's just go over a couple things that have just gone on. Let me see if I can do it within 5 minutes, just to give you guys some topics, and then of course, if you all join on board on the YouTube channel, on the link below,
give
on
him
the description,
5 minutes, but
you can be able to join in on Discord, be able to share links, articles. Heck, you can share them here on YouTube. Let's see who's on here. Gregory Zukov, Adam Biser, Ricardo Noel, got David Mitchell, Minor Tree Dump Trucker, Adam everywhere, and a couple other people here on Discord. Welcome aboard. We will just go ahead and to see. But yeah, tomorrow is Liberation Day. Liberation Day. It wasn't gonna be today according to the president. best president, the most wonderful president. I don't know. I don't know about that.
I'm
but
sorry,
anyway,
but I have to
tomorrow
laugh at
is
that.
Liberation Day because it would not fall on April 1st because it was April Fool's. That's literally what he said. If you guys remember, 25% duties on foreign-made cars and trucks beginning April 2nd. Wow, this is good. You know what? The car industry is about to burn in more ways than one, it seems. And no, I don't mean just Tesla, but that's certainly something that's happening. But now, I mean, with everything going on, we talked about this before with Honda now moving what they were planning production down in Mexico.
True.
Now they're moving it and expanding in Indiana, the production they already have there. And other places are also doing it as well. Other companies are doing it. Hyundai as well announced $20 billion investment in the United States. Now, how much these investments, how real they are, who knows? Because a lot of these companies will go ahead and say, hey, it's we're going to invest whatever amount of money in here, and then their stock will go up. They never really do that, and, well, that was a good way to pump the stocks up. But let's see. But they have a $5.8 billion Louisiana facility, $5.8 billion Louisiana facility will be the car manufacturer's first steel manufacturing facility in the United States.
Good.
Producing more than 2.7 million metric tons of steel a year, create more than 14,000 jobs. Let's see it happen. To supply steel to auto plants in Alabama and Georgia. That'll be interesting to see. But look, we're all for the reindustrialization here of the United States. It's the most important thing, honestly, that can be happening right now for this country. More important than anything else, for the sake and the betterment of this country, we need to reindustrialize. Okay, we're not going to have trains. We're not going to have any good infrastructure. We're not going to be able to build anything if we cannot build it here. Okay, that's for any sort of sake. So yeah, look, it's this is something that's hopefully will be happening. You know, it doesn't matter who it is or who is. It's, as long as we're having American jobs over here for Americans. Okay, not according to the Cato Institute, which I'm not going to even respond to how. By the way, I don't know if you guys have heard about what the Cato Institute said about bringing manufacturing back to the United States. You can go ahead and look it up. That pissed me off.
The Cato Institute is some of the most stupidest stuff I ever heard.
Actually, probably lower than what Vivek said, because that said the quiet part out loud. These people hate you. They don't want you to have jobs, more or less. They want to just take over the country and just, continue to parasite off the country. Now, this is the country, this is the nation, this is people. We need to have a way for them to be able to not only work, but to feel that there's some sort of work, that there's something that they're doing here. But yeah, it's going to change the automotive industry as a whole. Which, look, I hope so, because there's a massive need for a change in it. It needs to happen. Not just burning up Teslas, which is it's funny. It's not good for people who own Teslas, and honestly, it's really silly. Honestly, the whole entire thing is just silly. But hey, you gotta smile sometimes. You gotta enjoy. You gotta enjoy. Not enjoy it, but it's just it's fun times all around. Okay, you gotta enjoy the decline somehow. The decline, and at some point we will see the incline at some point. But Mazda is not having a good time. Which hey, Mazda is not the only car that they make over here is the CX-50. Which, funny enough, I rented a couple months ago for a company function to go ahead and drive, because driving through the snow with my car through a snowstorm is kind of a nightmare. But yeah, it's a one American-built model. The CX-50 might see a sales bump, especially since Mazda launched a new version last year, which is not a bad car. It's kind of like a Subaru Forester or an Outback or something like that. It's still a crossover, but at least look, it was built nice and whatever. So that's good. I wish they built more over here, but hey, it's oh well. It's just what it is. But we need a big fix over here. Which, by the way. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I'm going through this real quick. I'm almost there. All right, there you go. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Tucker Carlson podcast, but there's some things on there that are pretty interesting. Particularly this one caught my algorithm because it's all filled with cars, GATs, and other stuff, and that just popped up there. But yeah, look, American cars have not been built well for quite some time. And this guy here, Casey Pooch, you should kind of see him if you have on YouTube. But he built a diesel car, that can be able to go possibly on one tank between New York and Las Vegas if it had a larger tank. But Los Angeles, LA to New York, and this sort of thing has been done before. I mean, I believe Cummins back in the 1910s or like to the New York Auto Show just basically took one of their cars and just in one go without it just stopped for Phillips, just went over all the way to New York City. So diesel engines are pretty they're very efficient. Audi, I think, had like a car that was possible. It could get 100 miles per gallon. Again, these are not like the best looking cars, but they're very aerodynamic and this sort of stuff. But anyway, just going into how the auto industry has just gone to crap.
Oh,
which
he
it
is
has.
right.
It really has, and we need to be doing a lot better. We could be doing much better cars. And look, it's not just the auto industry as a whole. It's a lot of American industry as a whole needs to be revamped, reindustrialized, and brought back to what it is. Because there's a lot that we can be doing over here. We can be building our metro systems way better than before. We can be rebuilding that up. We can be going ahead and look at this. And we'll talk about this night train over here because this is very interesting. Again, who knows how real this will be? We'll see it when we believe. We'll believe it when we see it. But it's cool to see how the way now the industry is changing because less people want to drive. People just want to relax and just get to a place.
You're right. Dimitri is right about that.
Not on an airline. Okay? if you guys saw what's been going on in the airline industry, it's understandable why people don't want to be on the airlines. But anyway, this will be cool. And we'll talk about this, about the night trains, the Dream Stars, the Luna. Is it called the Luna? The Luna train.
Oh, yeah.
There we are. And we got those websites up. We'll go ahead and talk about that and whatever else you guys want to talk about. But hey, I'm done talking. The floor is yours. Here we go. Let's bring everybody up on board because I am tired of talking. It's been a long day. Luckily, there were no April Fool's shenanigans at work. It's been kind of testy with all the rounds of just the way the work environment is right now with the economy and everywhere everybody's getting laid off. So everybody's just like we've gone past our rounds of that. So we're just all we're all glad we're here. We're alive. We're fine. We feel bad for the people who got nicked, but it's just unfortunately look I've gotten I don't know how many times I've gotten nicked and laid off and. It's just what happens. But anyway, all right, let's bring everybody. If you have your hands up, you're coming in. Get in here.
Hey, Dimitri, you doing good, bud?
Hey! What's up? Hey, David. Hey, Dump Trucker. Hey, Miker Tree. And now let's bring in Darius. All right, come on.
Yeah,
everybody come on.
Bring him in.
Oh, speak of that.
If you guys got...
I want to say probably one or two things, but...
Oh, guys, I did the first April Fool's... Dimitri, I did the first April Fool photo of the live stream.
No.
Hold on, let's see. Oh boy. Please no furries.
Don't show YouTube. Do not show YouTube.
No furries, please. No, that's not happening here. Not in this. We're kicking out any sort of furries in this channel. This is a furry show.
I'm sorry, I know, but in April Fools, in April Fools, that would fit.
Give me one of those bats, I'll beat them up for you.
but let me bring it up.
I know you hate the bats. I know they said no to the bats, but the bats.
I love the bats. Look at our. Isn't this a wonderful, perfect bat collection? The best collection of bats ever. Nothing that the Yankees can have. Yankees and their torpedo bats have nothing on this. They have to cheat in order to win.
The bats are the best part.
There's plenty for everyone. Just have your pick. The bats, you want them? There's yours, my friend.
Oh, Dimitri, I got something really funny to say.
Or do you go for the ankles?
You can go for both.
Actually, I go for the ankles because then they are going to be walking for a while.
Well, you get the knees first, and then you get the ankles.
If you get the knees, they're all good. If you get the stomach, it comes out.
Oh, but
anyway, alrighty, everybody.
But let me get to what I was saying. Mother Nature.
Don't take that out of context.
Mother Nature was crazy today because.
David, what do you got to say?
All right, well, Mother Nature was super crazy today from a massive tornado outbreak in the Midwest and a freaking volcano erupting in Iceland near the town of Gringovic. Like, Mother Nature...
Yeah, no, the weather's been crazy everywhere.
Mother Nature been...
Welcome to spring. Welcome to spring, my friend. And what I want to say about spring is
Never hear me?
spring. So spring is like fall, but the other way around. And you can't spell fall without all.
Oof. Oh,
You're
but
gonna get all of it.
speaking of that, Demetrius, did you get some of the 3 articles I sent you on Discord earlier? They're super interesting.
Yeah, we got a couple articles there. Let me see. On did you send it to me, DM?
Yeah, I DM'd them to you on Messenger earlier today, around 6
Yeah,
p.m.
Let's get them up there. On yes, visit site. 2 and 3. But did you say please?
Uh,
You got to say please. Oh man, I love those pants memes. Those are hilarious.
Dude, oh man.
Dude, if this is the beginning of a millennial ascendancy to politics, we need more.
oh yeah.
This is hilarious.
They are, but the thing, when you said diesels were efficient, they are. When the
Well, they're slightly more efficient than gasoline.
Oh yeah, that for sure.
Right. However, I'm gonna give you, because I have the knowledge. Diesel exhaust fluid. When the truck has that canceled, that thing has like 30% more power.
Oh yeah.
They can
Yeah,
go.
I can't stand DEF is such
DEF.
a
DEF
scam.
is shit. It's a joke.
You said it out, me. No, and this is coming from somebody.
I got a chemical burn once handling it with my bare hands.
No, everybody hates DEF. Anybody who has to deal with DEF or anything like that, it's just such a stupid. It just sucks. And this is coming from somebody who worked in the diesel industry. I worked at Cummins. Okay, nobody likes DEF. It's terrible.
Oh, I know, but
I don't have to go into that.
DEF, we have a
but
problem.
Dimitri, like here, saying like the 3 articles I sent you, one on Tri-Rail, which you might want to read that one real quick.
All right, let's retry rail. Why not? Let's look back at my hometown, Miami, where the heat is on all night on the beach of the break of dawn. Except for Tri-Rail, could shut down by 2028 if it can't find new funding. This I did hear about. I didn't know whether to talk about this today or not, but I mean, it's kind of silly. I don't know if this is an April Fool's joke, but I mean, look, if you want to talk about an April Fool's joke, Amtrak now you have to take a bus instead of the train on the Cascades.
Oh,
So,
I know
it's,
that was just bad.
It's getting a little silly.
Is that replacing the set they had to get rid of?
Ugh.
No, that's something else. They found some corrosion and basically they're underside security. Corroded rail cars.
And they had to scrap the cars, so they're now using a bus service.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this is just yeah. Why
Maybe
take the
we
train if
should-
you
you
can
know
take
what?
the bus?
Maybe, what we should have done, maybe we shouldn't have gotten rid of the older cars, because they would have been so great right now. Small airline.
Yeah, the taco set, they should have kept those
Yeah, no,
in.
we'll have that going back and forth. Yeah, we'll have small airlines taking people back and forth on Amtrak.
Historic railroads, or museum railroads, you got any historic equipment we can borrow real quick?
It'll be slightly used though.
Who cares? As long as it's been restored to good passenger service.
Oh, yeah.
Gets people back and forth, does its job good.
Yeah, I think it's probably the same thing in the rail industry as it is in the automobile industry. That's probably the stuff that works back then still works. I mean, heck,
As long
you see
as
a lot
it
of
gets
these.
the job done.
Yeah.
Hey, and besides, it's almost summer. There'll be plenty of AC with the windows down.
Oh boy.
Dude,
I
like,
mean, if the car lobby complains that the trains are too rusty, we can send them down to Cuba and have them take their vehicles and use them equally as rusty.
The ones that have had like already 3 or 4 Soviet engines already swapped into them. It's like a Bel Air now with a BYD engine in there.
No, the ones that have had 4 engine swaps since they were built in the 1950s.
I know. It's just crazy how those stuff is just going
Hey,
on.
commuter railroads, do you have any spare passenger cars we can borrow? That really should have been the first question.
Yeah.
Anyone
but
got
no,
any spare
it's-
passenger cars we can borrow for the
Oh man, what a mess! And that's the problem. It's like, why?
like,
The point that we have to compare the United States to a country like Cuba in terms of our rail service, or just forget our rail service, or infrastructure in general. I mean, every time I have to go back home, there's this one road that is filled with, I'm kid you not, 3-foot deep potholes. Okay, that if you get stuck in there have been cars that have driven off to the side, and there's been times that you had to have fire trucks and tow trucks to come in because somebody got themselves stuck or have driven off the road to avoid it, and it's just.
Hey man, that's just part of a roller coaster driving experience.
Yeah, it's like an undeveloped country, just all over the United States. Like forget the Midwest or potholes, anything. It's like
that for
It's a
sure.
roller coaster. It's just like a roller coaster.
Yeah. Like I said, we need to build. We need to start getting people back into jobs and working. It's not that we don't have enough people. We have plenty of people.
Get rid of food stamps. People are living off them and they aren't getting a job. And they aren't getting a job like that.
There's a lot of nuance to it, but I mean, like the first and most important thing is just reindustrialize the country, get people back into get especially the younger folks need to be working back again. Let's put it this way:
sad statistic is most of them refuse to work.
I disagree with that.
I
don't think
disagree
it has to do with
too.
People refusing to work. It's just that the work that they're doing now, or the work that's available, doesn't pay the way that it should.
I agree with Dimitri.
Even if you want to work.
Dimitri, can I speak on
this?
it?
How many times have you been into it and you've done 1 billion or 1,000 resumes, which I literally did before my last job that I got over here. You throw out to different applications, 100 applications here, 300 there, and you nary get a word, or sometimes maybe out of 500 you finally get one response, and it's thank you for responding. Upon reflection and review, we decided to go with another candidate after 3 interviews.
Dimitri.
The market's just broken.
Dimitri, can I speak on it? It coming from a Gen Z right here. We work more than any other generation, but we're getting sick and tired because we don't want to work for how much we get paid. Like literally, we don't get paid the amount we get. Like literally, the amount that we need to get paid to live, we don't even get that. Like an apartment. If you go back to the 1950s, you've been able to work a part-time job and have an apartment. Not now. Like, everybody calling Gen Z lazy. No, we're not lazy. We're just tired. We're tired of being taken advantage of. We're tired of not getting paid what we're worth. Like, we're tired of getting paid to the point where, like, we want to be paid a livable wage. Like, where we can work a part-time job and have an apartment, or if we work a full-time job, or if we can work a
job position for our abilities.
Like, and then here's the other thing, Jane.
In favor of all of my.
Like, this is what I'm gonna bring.
If you want to say something, say the whole thing. Go ahead, man.
All right. This is what I'm gonna say.
David, go ahead, Fred. Finish up.
Jay, like, literally, like, like here at my workplace, we get paid around $16 to $19 an hour. Ironically, that's still not enough. Like literally, in order for if I would work at part-time, to rent an apartment here in South Carolina, because the cheapest apartment is $1.5K. And the thing is that order for me to have a part-time job and work that, the hourly pay need to be around $23 an hour. Bare minimum, And the fact...
Yeah.
How many hours do you work per day?
For me...
Well, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing. If you work at any of those part-time jobs, they try to find a way to dock you to 37 or 35 hours, because if you go to 40, they have to pay you full-time benefits, and they don't want to do that. So
that is what you always have to do. If you get a job, do full-time, because then you'll get the amount they say you're going to get. And if you ask for more hours, I work 40-plus hours usually per week.
I work 45 to 50 hours a week, and I still don't get paid an amount to a rent apartment,
Are you full-time or
full-time? Full-time. I had them transfer me from part-time to full-time.
You should look for another job. I know, strange suggestion. Maybe look for another job that will pay more.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So let's say if David were to go ahead and find another job, which I'm pretty sure all of you, who have been looking in the comments. In fact, Ricardo Noel in the comments in the chat said this. But this is across all industries, and how many people and how many articles this has come out with about how frustrating it is to find a job that it just keeps going up. Either you're getting ghosted by these companies, or either these jobs are fake job postings in order to go ahead and make it look like to the shareholders, like, oh yeah, we're expanding, we're looking for jobs or whatever. They're basically fake job postings.
Oh, I know,
or they're H-1B scam postings, because they're not jobs for you, they're jobs for somebody else's friend that's coming into the country. I'm not going to get into that too much,
and
because
Dimitri,
that's infuriating too. The market is just messed up.
Let me bring it up. If I try to find another job and quit my job, that would be too hard for me, because, let me be honest, I'm autistic. And for us autistic people, it's harder for us to find jobs. And let me be honest, 80% of the autistic community in the U.S. is either homeless or jobless. When you look at the statistic for my community.
Out there that help autistic people get jobs.
Guys,
I know you want to change the subject right now. My fellow autistic person, it can be challenging. I've been in those situations where you just freeze up in the moment. It sucks.
I'm not freezing up, that for sure. Yeah. I'm not freezing up. Where I live, it's impossible.
Let's try to. I understand, man. Look, let's do this.
You can talk about this afterwards.
Yeah. Let's end it at this, and we'll have to have another discussion about this another time, because I get it. It's completely true, but yeah, the market sucks, and the way that it's designed right now, and the way, I wouldn't say even designed, it's just like put on purpose to really, it's a parasitic market, unfortunately. And there needs to be another way to get around this. And I would go beyond just a livable wage. There needs to be a family wage. So,
exactly.
If one person in the family wants to work, they can be able to support his entire family, like it used to be in the United States for the majority of the time. This has only changed within the last 60, 70 years. Between the 1950s and the 60s, this country has gone steadily declined. So there's got to be a way to go back. Not just go back, but by going backwards, we're going forwards.
You're right about
it
that.
It sounds silly, but that's what it is.
Speaking of that,
if you go down a wrong path, the problem is if you go down a wrong path, that's a dead end. The only way forward is to go back to where you started.
Oh yeah, that is true. Speaking of that,
what we have to do is, sorry, go ahead.
If we start cracking down on big corporations, let's be honest, the moment we start cracking down on them stuff will change, That's the kicker.
Well, the easiest way to do that is to incentivize new small and medium businesses to come out, which that requires changing the regulations and the tax codes, which I keep harping about, but people don't want to talk about it because they're like, oh, let's just add more taxes and more regulations, which hurts the very existing small and medium businesses and prevents new ones from forming.
Yeah, the taxes and most of these taxes and regulations are made by the big company lobbyists in order to prevent new businesses from coming out.
Oh yeah, that is true.
That and the more taxes, the less you get paid. Because they have to save that money, more money to pay for the taxes.
Yeah. Let's bring in Grand Trunk Line, because he's had his hand up. I forgot to bring him in here. So
let's bring him in.
But going back to Tri-Rail over here, which I will. Let's not derail the argument back to where we were at over here. So let's see. 80-mile passenger lines relies heavily on state and federal funding, but with federal stimulus money drying up and the state signaling its plans to eventually cut off funding altogether, Tri-Rail officials are looking to Broward, Palm Beach, and Miami-Dade counties to save the day. So this is what we said before, and the thing is that with now a lot of this, what we've seen in the last 4 to 5 years is basically the economy being artificially propped up by the federal government. All this money that you were seeing, this GDP that was completely fake, more or less, was being propped up by government spending. Now that government spending has been pulled back, or much of it has been threatened to be pulled back, all the funding that you're seeing in a lot of these states that have been basically taking off of this, they're now freaking out of like, well, now where are we going to get the money? But this is why we have to start thinking local, and we need to start thinking more by the state. And the state needs to start coming in and just saying, hey, look, there's got to be different ways that we could be able to run something like Tri-Rail. I mean, Tri-Rail's been running the same train since before I've been born.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and that's kind of a joke, but it's kind of true as well, because, I mean, I've ridden Tri-Rail regularly to go and commute to work. The thing is, like, there's got to be other ways to go ahead and run it and operate it. That doesn't exist on massive federal funding.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is most of the passenger rail companies have been taken over by the government either through nationalization or pseudo-nationalization through Amtrak, and they essentially just become a political football that gets kicked around every single time a change in administration happens.
That was true.
But if you say, all right, let's change regulations to make it easier for new companies to form, and then all of a sudden it's its own company, it's not that difficult to set it up in such a way that it, at minimum, breaks even, if not making a fair amount of money like Brightline's doing right now in Florida.
Oh, yeah, that's
Because,
true.
yes, if you set it up right, it easily makes money. But the problem is there's so much regulation and red tape in the way that it's hard to start up said companies to begin with. And we're like, oh, we need to get more state funding. Oh, we need more federal funding. It's like you're setting up the system to fail, and then when it fails, you blame everything else but the system that you have in force. And then you want to add in more complexity to an already unsustainable system.
Oh, yeah, that for sure.
I can promise you this. You set up the regulations right and you privatize Tri-Rail, they will replace every single piece of their equipment and easily be profitable within the first 5 years, if not the first 2.
Oh, yeah, he right. A lot of decommuter rail, like the North Star, like, let me be honest. I brought up the North Star about a month ago, and good news is that it might be still around, you know?
Yeah, a lot of the different passenger rail companies that essentially got pseudo bought out and nationalized under Amtrak, many of them could have survived and thrived even until today, but we just decided, no, let's keep the regulations overbearing and the taxes high, that it made Amtrak the only viable alternative. But if you say, all right, let's make it a much more fair and level playing ground, all of a sudden it's like, hey, the trains are working again.
Mm-hmm. You got that right.
Talk about either A, upgrading the rails to be much better, maybe double tracking in a lot of areas, or do you want to build out a passenger-only rails to go alongside the existing freight lines?
How Elon Musk looks like, how Elon Musk literally initially looked towards the biggest barrier towards young people like us getting H-1B visas is, in a way, kind of reasons why he deserved the peaceful parts of the protests on Tesla dealership.
I doubt that those
burning
people
or the vandalism or.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I doubt those people were even burning his cars because of the H-1Bs. That's like the other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the protests and the more violent side of the protest against Elon is his open support of Trump, especially during the election.
Oh, yeah.
And it's only gotten worse.
I mean, when everybody's Hitler, who is at this point? So I mean,
speaking of that, I got a good meme for that.
Now, guys, about
I got a
private companies
super
coming up
good
and
meme.
now-
Where?
You're right there, David?
Yeah, I got a good meme for that. Look, I'm about. All right, look.
Send it in the chat, but
I did.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
we want to talk about this. So this came out today. So trains.com put out they're going to be looking at 2 different companies over here. So Dreamstar, California, one of the 2 California companies that are trying to come back with overnight passenger trains, which used to be such a thing, a beautiful thing that we used to have here in the United States. I mean, if you guys ever seen, White Christmas, or any movies where you have a train and people going overnight, or North by Northwest. I mean, it was a beautiful time in America, and it was a beautiful thing to have this sort of stuff.
Oh.
where you can be able to take a train. And I've taken overnight trains a lot of times on Amtrak on the Silver Star, Silver Meteor. It's a wonderful experience. But now there are private companies aiming to bring that back. So now that's the thing. In a real market, if we see something that has good, and there's good for just not just for the economy, but good for people and good for everything else, that's what we want. It's an all-around, more or less good for people.
Oh,
so Dreamstar, Luna Train, these are two different companies that are now coming out and trying to bring this back over here.
Oh,
So,
Dimitri,
you guys want to talk about that?
I did send you the meme.
Yeah, definitely.
Dimitri, I did send you the meme
yeah,
right here. It's funny.
Yeah.
The memes.
Well, he has 2 in a row.
Okay, we got 2 here. All right, let's see.
Well, the Amtrak is now starting to see its competition, which is kind of good because we needed the competition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, overnight trains are still
This
viable.
will challenge, yes, and this will challenge Amtrak to do better. Which, they
Oh,
need to
it
do
would.
better. Yeah.
Because right now, many of the overnight trains that you can look up on Amtrak, many of those are more expensive than just renting a car and driving to your destination and back.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll take about the same amount of time.
Owning a car.
Yeah, it's like, you can take this train across the country. It's only going to be a few $100s per person, but I can get on a plane and fly it there
They
in
need to
a few hours.
modernize their interiors drastically because some of these car interiors are looking a whole lot better than an Amtrak interior.
Oh, yeah.
Which
It's
more
like, it's that awkward
They give
moment.
Amtrak credit. They're now trying to get into the Siemens cars and everything else. So they're looking. Let's put it this way: they're better than what they were 10 years ago.
Oh, I know.
But Amtrak modernized those cars like a decade ago.
For those double deckers, they need to find a replacement. Superliners. They aren't the superliners. They get old.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, Dimitri, the other article I'm about to bring up is of the Maine DOT. I don't know what they're on, but the Maine DOT is about to make one of the most terrible mistakes out there.
What are they gonna do?
Well,
What's going on with Maine?
Well, I just sent you the link to the article in private chain earlier, just like with the other one. But
So what?
Okay, here I go. Yeah, I see it. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring that up. Thought I had it here. Okay, hold on. There we go. Okay, nearly 25 miles of rail line in southern Maine to be abandoned. Maine DOT owns the land, the tracks between Portland and Auburn.
I heard about this somewhere.
Sitting on. Okay, are they going to change this into a rail trail now? Is this what's happening?
yep, they're going to try.
Well, they just.
Okay,
You know
so then
what? It's better than
24.23 rail line.
It depends. Who owns the line? Or sorry,
Apparently
is it being used?
Apparently Maine DOT owns the land.
Sorry, who owned it? My bad. Who originally owned the line?
Let's see here. It's not saying so far.
The Boston and
Since
Maine.
2015, according to federal findings. Yeah, there's nothing here.
Some Western Railroad something?
It must be. Yeah, I mean, the simplest way is change the
Oh,
law.
okay, I'm sorry. Never mind. I completely missed it. Oh man, it's been a long day. St. Lawrence and Atlantic Railroad Company plans to abandon a 24.23 rail line. So they met all the regulatory requirements to abandon it. They're just saying, yeah, we're done.
They don't want to even attempt at doing a sinking scenic rail line, man. Of course.
I mean, the simplest way of solving the issue is say, all right, new federal regulations on railroads. Any existing railroad already in existence, period. If it's going to be sold, can be sold immediately to any new railroads, and then any existing railroads before it can be turned into anything else. That would be the quick fix.
The new rule should be.
I'm not quite sure if they tried to sell this line in the past or not, but
They never did. I know what line they're talking
The
about.
DOT just said, you know what?
Yeah.
We'll take it off your hands for you.
That's probably what it is. Look, I'm not going to get too much into
And you
this.
know what? Hey, rail trails are great. Biking is great.
Yeah, there's probably a lot more to this story than somebody local would know exactly, or more. They would know more to the story of what's going on than we're seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
25 miles of rail line. It's sad, but again, I don't know the full context.
It's better than outright
And
abandonment.
another thing,
Figure it out.
another thing with Tesla. Another thing with Tesla.
We're just all over the place with topics here.
Like with it, there's actually a better alternative to Tesla cars. It's called Commuter Cars Tango. It's about as wide as a motorcycle, and it's practical because 98% of single occupancy drivers in the United States drive with like 4 open seats and thousands of pounds of hunk of metal right around them just to get to work or a few miles around.
Facts. That is facts. Speak.
The problem is like how practical is something like that. But anyway,
The space knows for, but the weight for safety, yes, to an extent. But the big hunk that's taking up all the road, that's what's causing all the trouble with the road infrastructure.
All right, then simple solution. Everybody drive a smart car.
Quick question. Is my big dump truck taking up too much room on the road? It's only 2 feet.
That's true.
Look, if you're just driving a truck just to drive a quarter ton or a half ton truck, and there's nothing and you've never used a bed, and you're just there to just have it lifted and just cause trouble, you may not need a truck. It's just as simple as that. But I mean, look, there needs to be. The problem is that now with EPA
I wish the Commuter Cars Tango had got a production line instead.
Yeah, but here's the thing with those cars, and we can go back
much more practical.
I know, but here's the thing. And this guy says, look, if you guys want to look at this,
It's like a motorcycle, but
I got it. Look,
Let AOC speak, please.
excuse me, I'm speaking. Look, we can make better cars. We can make smaller cars. You go to Japan or you go to Europe. There are smaller, more practical automobiles that are much more efficient. That are just more
got
practical.
the link to commuter cars.
Okay. The problem is, again, it comes to the CAFE standards. So you have the wrong certain standards that are coming in, the wrong regulations. That to make something like this, like what Casey Pooch designed over here, you can't sell it in the United States because it's basically illegal. It's more efficient. It works. It's better. You can probably make it for cheaper. You can probably, if you mass produce it, 20 to 25K. That's a lot cheaper than most normal cars right now. Problem is, it's more or less illegal. So there needs to be a way to. We just look. We're getting steps done. Steps are happening. Do we want it to make it? Do we want these steps to occur faster?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. But it's just a step-by-step process, and I think the sort of stuff that we're seeing on X, online, and people talking about this sort of stuff, how messed up not just the economy is, but the regulations behind it, the apparatus that is expanding and keeping this mediocre, this whole system of mediocrity being kept in place on purpose to keep the system going, keep making money at the expense of everybody else. It's got to end, and it's coming to an end. The gears are crunching all over the place. So we're seeing the end of it.
Oh yeah,
old or too old to see it. Who knows?
Probably too old to see it. That's usually the American way.
Yeah. But look, there's good things happening like this sort of stuff, like Dreamstar Lines. Okay, Hotel on Rails, Journey in Style. This is great. These type of ideas are becoming now more mainstream. People are talking about this. I mean, it's getting more press than. You don't hear the Hyperloop anymore. It's gone. It's disappeared. We don't have to hear Hyperloop anymore. Thank goodness. Thank God. Thank you that it is gone. The Hyperloop is gone. It's not coming back. Okay, but look, these sorts of ideas. Okay, and
Do you remember the tests they did with Hyperloop?
Oh no. I think I do. Which test? Because there's been like so many underwhelming tests.
All the competitions they did.
Oh wait, yeah, the first Musk competitions that they had, there was like a tube like somewhere in Los Angeles that they just threw. Then they destroyed it because nobody was using it anymore. That was hilarious.
Oh yeah, that was for sure.
No one wanted to use it. It was just like, why'd you build this now that you don't even own it? It was a failed idea.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's a failed idea, but here now, better ideas coming in. Here's Luna Train. Turn nights into new destinations. Luna Train is launching night trains in the United States and Canada that serve major cities as a better alternative to flying and driving. So, yeah, again, these are just kind of ideas. They're not really.
They do make sense, but overnight diesel passenger
I think
trains.
rather than actually
Are
having
they
fun
being a little bit more? How specific are they with these trains? Like, are these gonna be more of a fancy? It's not like get place to place as soon as you can.
I hope it's
Yeah, I
the
think
same
they're
cost as
using.
taking a bus.
So, from what I understand correctly, they're using the current infrastructure that's already there. They're supplying the trains and the operations and the service, and they're probably going ahead and renting the right of way from, let's say. So let's look at this map over here. If you're in the know of how what rail lines are in motion over here, what Class 1 rail lines are using what, you can kind of tell which rail lines are being used over here. But of course they'd skip me here in Indianapolis. So hey, it's just what it is. But hey, you can get from Chicago all the way to Miami. Again, they're just kind of throwing out the idea of what's possible with this. This is not what they're coming out with. This is what's possible, what they can do. Luna Train is a one-off project from city A to B. We're planning to establish a network of night trains that bring novel service to underserved travelers. So, and look at this. They at least have some CG and some stuff to kind of just show you, give you an idea. Private cabins are priced competitively with airline seats of the same service class on the same route, which is good to have, having that competitive pricing, because Amtrak's pricing is kind of all over the place.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
no science to Amtrak's pricing most of the time. I get it. Neither is there really any sort of real science to airline pricing. I mean, there is a science and there is a math to it, but it's not. It's kind of scummy. Let's be quite honest. But
Oh, yeah, it is.
This is cool, and
Very true. But I'll do this one. If they create the service, I bet you $50 right here, right now. Everyone else is my witness that they would probably get the service operational between San Francisco and LA than before California High-Speed Rail.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's without a doubt. I think Luna Train is focusing more on the eastern side of the on the east side of the Rockies, and Dreamstar is focusing between San Francisco, Los Angeles. Which honestly, I think if there's going to be one of the two that I'll have to bet on, it's probably going to be Dreamstar Lines, because they're focusing here on one, and this is something that they can probably be able to do. Plus, if you read the article, going over here, this goes into sort of the history behind what night trains used to be in the United States, and the glory, the glamour, the glitz of everything. How it was a beautiful time. So here we are. As previously recorded, the company has track access memorandum of understanding with Union Pacific. So again, they're using Union Pacific's rail lines. Eastman says Dreamstar is now in drafting stages with MOUs with Metrolink and LA Union Station, and we'd like to get to downtown San Francisco. If it looks like Caltrain is going to be taking some time, we could start with San Jose and build from there. So they have options too. So they're looking like, okay, well, Caltrain is not going to help us over here. We'll just go to San Jose. We'll just do something. Not like what California High-Speed Rail is doing, which they could have started from San Diego to Los Angeles, which would have been easier. No, they started in the hardest political place to do it in the Central Valley, which is much more red than the rest of the state. And they're taking forever. Which honestly, at this point, it's fair to say that California High-Speed Rail Authority doesn't want to build a high-speed rail, because it would have built the high-speed rail project years ago.
Oh, I know that for sure, but
Don't worry.
Years ago.
Don't worry. They'll have it operational before 2050 at this rate.
They're gonna really.
My solution.
They're gonna build it, and then when we're only like a few months away from the Olympics, it'll be completed.
No, this is just nuts. They're not going to be done before the Olympics. But look, speaking of the Olympics, this company, so financing efforts are ongoing with Dreamstar. Recently, a notable backer in Southern California, home builder Bill Lyon, who disclosed in mid-March that he made a $100,000 investment in the company. Again, it's small, but it's at least they start to get them at least some marketing material, get them going, maybe fund some travel to go to commission meetings, whatever it needs to do. Asked during the February webinar about the start of service, Dominic and Acemund estimated constructing the equipment would take about 18 to 24 months. That's fair. And service could begin, worst case, before the 2028 Summer Olympics. Because all they need to do is just make the trains and run on the lines. The infrastructure is there, so they can do it.
You know what's gonna happen? They're gonna wait to build it. Okay, we're only a few months away from the Olympics. Hey, build the line now. Tracks in place, line's already going. Look, I did after the Olympics. I know. Olympics are over. They're gonna have to take it apart and make it never actually happened.
Yeah, I don't think. Honestly, I think that probably Brightline will get it done because they said initially they were going to get it before the Olympics. Now they're saying they're going to get it like a couple months after the Olympics. Honestly, I think they can get it done
actually
before
hilarious.
then. I mean, if they can get it done before then, it would be. I think
It
that
would be a miracle if it got done.
Let's see, accommodations, amenities, rooms, shop. Okay, let's see news. But yeah, these guys are definitely. I'm having a mass list of interviews that I have to run. At some point, that will happen. I'm getting this stuff done this year. At some point.
Oh, that for
keep
sure.
saying that. But I mean, man, dude, it's been tough at work and everything, and I'm starting my new position and everything. So it's been stressful, but look, I'm at least keeping.
Hey, you got man.
We got it. But,
You're going to sell $500,000 worth of construction equipment. You got it.
we're getting there.
Oh,
Okay,
speaking
so,
of
It's going to help.
speaking of Minnesota, it's starting to be dumb too. You know, they're talking about killing off a passenger train line from St. Paul to the upper.
I saw that.
They've been doing that for years.
They've been happening for years with the one line. They need to do an Amtrak train to Duluth, but the problem is money.
Not that
Is it with money? Then that's the question.
it's not money. It's who it would screw over the airlines.
I don't think people are taking a plane to and from Duluth to St. Paul.
Think about it. There's no major airport between here and Fargo.
But on the other hand, we got them promising new in Salt Lake City. I sent the article about that. So let's get to some good news.
Yeah, that's a good idea there. Okay, Statler plant expansion in Salt Lake City gets state support. So there you go. Again, we're getting jobs back here. We have to go ahead. And Statler, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's a Swiss company. So
Yes,
they are.
it is
Now
Swiss
they're building,
company.
They're building factories over here.
And here,
Which is the whole point of.
That will help commuter lines improve their trains.
and here, funny thing, what most
Metro lines.
here's the funny thing.
Like Stadlers are not bad looking. They're pretty good looking for American equipment.
Oh, dump truck. I was trying to say something. Here's the funny thing.
apologize.
Saying Utah, right where Salt Lake City is, Utah is a red state, and they got a freaking good commuter rail system. Like, let's be honest, they got them damn good commuter rail system in Utah. And funny thing is, they're not a blue state. They're a red state. It's kind of funny when you think about it.
Well, hang on. Is it a blue city or red city?
Red city.
That's pretty good, but also
It's
that is if you really look.
Yeah.
We are, yes. But if you look at the map of Salt Lake City, that is like a straight line can almost get.
Oh, I know. And
Yes, it's a long corridor. It's a corridor city.
and it benefits it.
It's
So it's really easy to go have like one or two lines going north to south.
Mm-hmm. And saying into that,
It's literally one line with a bunch of branches.
and Utah is doing great for commuter rail system. That for sure. Like,
They have pretty good passenger numbers.
not just that, but they are going back to mixed use development. They're prioritizing transit over cars, which it's up in big. With that's up and I fully support.
Yeah, that's great because if you the interstates in Salt Lake City, there's a lot more than there should be.
Mm-hmm. And saying into that, they focus more on their team. Also, Texas is doing something interesting with their stuff. I just sent an article about that too.
All right. What we got there on? Let me see. Where's? You send it to me on the.
It on the live
DM?
chat. It in the live chat.
All right. Let me go ahead and bring that back up. Let's see. I see state legislation seeks to kill funding for Twin Cities Duluth. Where are we?
I just go up.
All right, here we go. Let me see. She served on the Texas Railroad Commission. Was the first woman elected Austin mayor. First woman to serve as Texas Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're saying this is good news for Texas or bad news for Texas?
Good news because it looked like she might actually save the rail projects there. You know.
I mean, it said that she died at 85, though.
Oh!
You have the wrong one. You have the wrong one.
Do I have the wrong article? I'm sorry. Okay, let's.
Yeah, that might be an issue if you got.
I was gonna say I don't think that's gonna. I mean,
it's not gonna help.
that's.
I don't think you posted the right article.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Hey guys, if I go silent for a sec, if I go silent for a minute, that means my Discord crash.
Okay, I'm trying to find. Oh wait, hold on. This is
And it did. God damn it. Ugh. Oof.
Two other companies to help pay for the $600 million class action lawsuit. Wait. To force the railcar owner GATX and the chemical manufacturer Oxy Vinyls to share the cost of the settlement, because Norfolk believes those companies are partially responsible for what happened in East Palestine, Ohio, on February 3rd, 2020.
Time out.
You know what? Hang on. If you haven't seen bullshit,
It crashed.
that is bullshit.
Time out. Who owned the vehicle? That would.
Let me see. Wait a second. Hang on.
Who failed to maintain it? Who failed to maintain their equipment?
Guys, you sure that's not United Airlines that was running that?
I think it was Delta doing that one.
Yeah, this wasn't the Delta flight that flipped over, right? It wasn't that one. I'm pretty sure. Wait a second. This is Norfolk Southern's rail line. This is Norfolk Southern's car. Oh yeah.
Well, I don't think they own the car, but they're still responsible for the maintenance of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the next time, wait a second. If this works, you can use this precedent
My
to say,
Discord
look,
crashed.
officer, I know I just killed like 1 billion people, DUI, but you know what? This was Corona's fault. This was Corona's fault. I had Corona in my system. It was Corona that did this to me.
Corona and Toyota, since you were driving a Toyota Corolla.
Yeah. I mean, this is such a this is.
Was it Corona or PSR? Because I think I know what the answer is. PSR.
They were running PSR and they were doing it.
And it looks like David crashed out and is wanting back in.
But it's still Norfolk Southern's fault.
Yeah, this is just absolutely.
PSR is dangerous. You cannot do it.
This is.
It puts people out of jobs.
Alright, I'm back. My Discord crashed.
Yeah.
That
So David, did you hear that Norfolk Southern? Yeah. Well, Norfolk Southern wants Oxy Vinyls, and GATX, which owns or made the rail cars, to pay for their $600 million class action lawsuit, or at least share their class action.
You know what I do? It's very simple. We get the entire board of Norfolk Southern. We sit them down, and then we say, "This is not going to work." And if they start to speak, you give them the backhand.
Wait. Let me see what's in the background there. What's in the background? Oh, we got plenty to go around. There we go. Problem solved. All right.
Don't put down execs. I got a baseball bat in my trunk.
It's like, if you're gonna talk, it's like, all right, I guess we're gonna start with the CTO on this one.
Let's remind everybody. Let's remind everybody and everybody out there. This is all in Minecraft. This is all Minecraft fun. Okay, we're not. Look, let's be honest. Okay, it's you know, it's funny, it's hilarious.
To physically harm them.
Yeah, but
We want to nicely harm them.
what's okay? But what's real is the absolute frustration and injustice. Okay, and that's the main issue and the main problem.
And the people haven't been paid enough. The people still haven't been paid the compensation of the disaster.
Oh yeah, that for sure. They have not been.
This is yeah.
It.
And they had to pay a tax to get that money.
Mhm.
So they had to pay more money just to get more money. It's stupid.
Hey,
Yeah.
guy, I found.
Speaking of court cases, I mean, Minecraft does, it is now a valid excuse. So.
Hey, Dimitri, look at the two memes I just sent you.
And I hope the lawyer for Norfolk Southern is like, you do realize this is your fault, right? Like, you guys aren't winning this fight. And if he isn't like that,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like,
But we're gonna keep a watch on this. This trial is expected to last 2 to 3 weeks. So. I mean, look at
it'll be like 2 or 3 years.
Here you are. So this is a Texas-based company, the Oxy Vinyls here, saying this trial is nothing more than Norfolk Southern's continued attempt to shift the blame, attention, and financial responsibility for its train derailment, response, and vent and burn decision to anyone other than itself. The Texas-based company said Oxy Vinyls did not cause the derailment, its tank cars did not breach, and it did not make the decision to vent and burn the VCM vinyl chloride monomer cars. So there you go.
Norfolk Southern chose to let those cars burn.
Yeah.
Norfolk Southern chose to do that. They didn't say, we need to put this out before it gets worse. No, they just let it burn.
Even worse, they could have prevented this.
Oh, yeah,
That's the whole thing. Like the minute that the brakes started to go on fire, the train should have just stopped. Just keep on going.
It depends. Did the locomotive detect the brakes catching on fire in time before they could stop the train in time? If the brakes caught fire, they probably, maybe they knew about it, hit the brakes, but by the time they were coming to a stop, it was too late. Boom.
But it's still not supposed to be sent to the cab. Let the engineer know that there's an issue with the brakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, he was told not to stop.
Yeah.
What? Bro, I would have violated those orders and came to a stop like, fix this car, fix this.
Oh yeah, I would have stopped that train too. You know. Oh, speaking of that, I sent two funny memes.
Also, it's management. Management would tell them to stop, so that's on management for not playing it safe.
Oh yeah.
This is the consequences of precision scheduled railroading, and it's just it's the fastest race to the bottom using the equipment as much as possible with as little maintenance as possible in order to save as many pennies as possible.
And speaking,
But don't worry, things break.
oh yeah.
They just think they can just let it go. It's bullshit.
And it's
But don't worry,
a way to run
management
a
is
business.
just.
Absolutely terrible way.
Right.
But don't worry, management is sitting there going all shock Pikachu face, and it's like, oh no, it's the consequences of my actions.
Oh no, the consequences of my actions have come up to me. Quick, let's shift the blame.
Oh yeah.
It's not my fault.
Yeah,
All right.
and
Speaking of
David
guys,
also put
we're
two
gonna-
more memes that
we're
YouTube
gonna-
people want to see.
We're gonna end this at 9:15, so let's go ahead and start bringing this this train to a
Oh,
close. Which, by the way, I think you know what? I hope we have more trains like this Art Deco style that I keep bringing up over here.
speaking-
I like this stuff.
Guy, can I speak? Can I?
No,
Need a bullet train across the country a few more times.
Hey,
not
guys.
Art Deco, but a new style of a new rendition of Art Deco.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That,
we can do that.
whatever.
Dimitri.
Yeah, I want to see.
I just want something nice. Just have can we have nice things in this country again?
Dimitri.
And we have nice audits. We have nice designers.
Dimitri,
Yeah,
can I speak?
Is that red? It might be a dark oak, maybe a red oak.
Done.
No, I think that's just somebody made this in CG,
Oh.
but I mean, it's not bad. You could imagine this on an actual train car, but
Dimitri,
yeah.
I got two funny memes. That I just said.
All right, let's do the memes. There better not be any furries in there.
Nope.
No, they're not. I checked.
Okay. There you are.
Don't worry, we'll ban Demetrius for his furry art later.
Oh no. There you are. Okay, let's see what's next over here. And we have, Thomas the Fan Engine.
But got the
There we go,
memes.
guys.
Yeah.
It's the way that he's
Star Force
staring
wants to join
at
us
you.
for less view.
That's kind of unnerving. It's like they always find some way to make Thomas the most unnerving looking thing in the products.
Oh, I
Whoever
know.
made Thomas EXE, I will find you.
No.
It-
What did they do Star Force wants to speak. Hold on, let's go ahead and bring him on here. There
Oh,
we
yeah.
go.
There he is.
Everybody's in.
Okay.
Yay.
I went into
Okay.
my finals.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Star Force. You there, man?
It's hard for it. You there?
Yeah, I am.
There you go.
All right, we can hear you.
How you doing, man?
So I've been hearing talk about this Liberation Day, and that's where we are bringing jobs back to the U.S., right?
Apparently they started it, and that's going to start with
Good.
25% tariffs. Yep.
I hope they bring back some John Deere jobs. Boy.
Because I was actually on the South Shoreline on Sunday, heading to South Bend, and I passed through Gary, Indiana, and it seriously looks like a war zone. Like, it looks like a war zone. Like,
Gary,
nothing,
Indiana has always been a war zone. Always has, always will be.
I wouldn't say always has or always will. I mean, look, it was one of the best cities in the United States.
Oh, yeah,
Probably one of the
true.
richest cities. I think, like, per capita, it was better off than... It was, like, on the top three with Oakland and Detroit. I mean, it was one of the best. And then, yeah, it just... That was it. We all know the story of what happened before Gary.
Well, the problem, that problem is the Rust Belt.
Mhm.
Indianapolis, I think they kind of got out of it, but
Yeah, and that's mainly due to the logistics and pharmaceutical industry because Eli Lilly is based here. Plus, you have a whole lot of trucking and logistics industries over here. I mean, FedEx, after Memphis, Tennessee, has their second largest distribution center here. Yeah,
Every interstate goes to Indianapolis, Indiana.
it's the crossroads of America for a reason.
Like I-90 that runs along the border, but that goes straight to Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, Gary, Indiana might be a dumpster fire in Cardinal, but at least it's not Detroit.
Hey, at this point, you know what? Two reasons why I didn't vote Democrat. When the woman said, if you elect Kamala Harris to wherever, be like Detroit. I don't know if I want to be like Detroit.
All right.
I mean, look, and I'll be fair to Detroit.
Detroit is just gangs, and drugs.
Detroit is marginally better than Gary, and again, I'll stress marginally
Yeah, if
better.
I had
And
to
that's
choose,
mainly
if I had to choose Gary or Detroit, I probably would go with Detroit.
Yeah, and that's mainly due to the headquarters of the Big Three and, some other businesses that are still based there. And there's still a little bit of manufacturing, but nowhere near the amount that it used to be in its heyday. No, we're close.
And it won't return, sadly.
Sadly, that's true.
I mean, speaking of Indiana, I mean, look, Gary and a whole bunch of places in Indiana, I mean, there were multiple, like several dozen car manufacturers, and they were like small, like mom and pop manufacturers. I mean,
It's where the manufacturing began.
Yeah, Duesenberg was one of like the premier automobile makers in the world. I mean, like it took years for the automobile market to match the performance and the quality of Duesenbergs. Okay, and it was based here in the and look, and you had so many like other cars like Packard and a whole bunch of other stuff based here, and and that's the thing. We could bring that again. We could have small mom and pops, and like if you have, let's say, a couple of friends in a dream, and you say, hey, you want to be like this guy over here that was on Tucker Carlson, and say, look, I want to bring a car to market. I want to bring something new.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a really big problem, though, is that all your general car designs have been taken. So you can't just, come up with a new one. without it looking similar to something else.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean you can. I mean, look at the Cybertruck. I mean, that doesn't look like anything else on the road. I mean, it's
It really does.
I love
counting the Cybertruck in that because what can you do now?
Yeah, and I will say this: I love the design. I hate the execution of it because it doesn't run well as a truck. It just doesn't work.
It doesn't function as a truck.
Literally,
Yeah.
it literally becomes a metal fridge when you put it in water.
Yeah, it's mostly a
A
refrigerator.
vehicle on the road would be something like a cross between a commuter car. The most practical kind of car that would be on the road for 90% of the people on 90% of the drives would be a cross between that commuter car's Tango and a Velomobile.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm going to go a step further. The car
Yeah,
that
we'll
people
take
need to be riding in, the automobile that people need to be riding in, I'll change it here. Automobile that most people need to be riding in is on a bus because most of these people can't drive. And honestly, just go on a bus, like well, what are we going to do with the people who can't go to work? Take a bus. Like you have rural commuter buses. There you go, done. Simple as that. This is a April Fool's joke, but you know what? There you go. No, sorry.
Where you put the bus station right in the middle of the interstate.
Tesla bought
Yeah,
commuter
what's
cars. Tesla bought commuter cars.
But what's wrong with bad drivers? But what's wrong with
Should've
bad
done that
drivers? But what's wrong with bad drivers charging at you and complaining about their road rage because you were not driving 30 miles an hour over the speed limits?
Well, yeah. And this just did occur to me. If you hate Tesla and you hate Elon, stop using Starlink. That's owned by Elon.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of people are using this sort of stuff, and I mean, look,
Amtrak about to pass.
it's like we have a weird relation when it comes to Elon over here. It's like, but there's some things that we think is cool, and there's something that is just quirky and
a
dumb.
lot more than what I've mentioned. They have a lot of business. He has a lot of business with other companies.
Yeah.
And more than I've named off, for sure. And so much so, it would impact your daily life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, make your daily life harder.
Yeah, to a degree, I'd say. I mean, I should be on X a heck of a lot more than what I do, like maybe post once a week, and then they're doing a heck of a lot more. I should be doing a heck of a lot more, period. But hey, it's what it is. I mean,
speaking of,
you can only stretch so much far as you can. But speaking of stretching out, guys, we're at 9:16 p.m.
Oh, yeah,
so I think we'll just start to let's start to
Dimitri.
slow it down here. But again, this was a fun conversation for April Fool's. So I hope you guys had a good time here.
All right, Dimitri.
Yeah, I heard,
got some good news with the countdown. We got less than 25 days for the Avail Liberties.
There we go. It's coming. Let's see if we can have a day for that. That would be funny.
Well, I'm sorry. I actually heard they're canceling. I heard they canceled their Avail Liberty.
Oh yeah, shoot, David. Yeah, we got to find that article. Yeah, because I saw that the Avail Liberty's being canceled.
No.
Okay, all right. I didn't get you there. All right, April Fool's. The Avail still on for now.
Mm-hmm.
For now.
April
Let's see.
26th.
I'm not gonna say anything. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you all for joining on this epic live stream of the American Rail Club. Don't forget, I'm gonna give the whole spiel here. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can be able to see more of the American Rail Club as we come on. And at some point, that video will come out. At some point. You said April. And this may not be an April Fool's, but we're trying to going for April. I was gonna say March, but now it's April. And then don't worry, I'll say it by September. It's like it's coming out in October, guys. Don't worry. But anyway, let me jinx all the bad stuff so that doesn't happen. But all right, folks, thank you all for coming on board. Don't forget to fasten your seatbelts when the light comes on, and no smoking on board. We will see you all next time. Take care and Godspeed.
Please like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye. Have a good one, guys.
And we're off.